Hi everybody, this is Dr. Manolo, and we come with the second opinion with Dr. Manolo. The Catholics unite in the US for the re-election of Donald Trump. Today it is July 18, 2020. Wherever you are, whichever country you belong to, try to sit down. It doesn't matter the time you have in each country because we have different time. So be listening our information. It is very important for you to know what is going on in the US. We have still 3.5 months until the election for the President of the United States. It will be happening on Tuesday, November the 3rd of this year, 2020. And the people and institutions that will be benefited or be affected by the election, depending on who is elected, are already in full activities because of that. The candidates, Donald Trump, representative of the Republican Party and acting as the president running for the re-election, and Joe Biden, who represents the Democrat Party. Also, to tell the truth, as soon as the Donald Trump was elected 4 years ago, and even before taking the office, the opponent party, the Democrat Party, have already started a campaign for Donald Trump to fail. And they started all kinds of activities and for not only hinder this management, but also to try to get him out of the White House before his term ends. Remember the impeachment? It didn't work out. It was one of the activities. President Trump has everything against him, not only the economic power controlled by those on the Democrat Party, they are communist, socialist agenda, they have that. He also has the most influential media in the United States against him. Of the 20 media, the most important here, 18 are from the left party and only 2 consider themselves to be on the right. I asked 18 media outlets of the left what the left they are talking about. They surely misunderstand the socialism that they proclaim. Let's speak clearly. Their agenda is the total control of the population and its extermination. But let's not get off the topic for today. Let's talk about the Catholics united in the United States for the re-election of Donald Trump. We will talk about the left wings of the Democrat Party at a later time. Well, by the tradition, the Catholic Church has always kept out of the national political reality, apparently, and this is in a very country where they are, to such an extent that they are often criticized as the collaborators with the government in office. In some countries, they are still in agreement between government and the church. Here in the United States, it was noticed on June 7 of 2020, 5 weeks ago, an open letter to the President Donald Trump was published by Archbishop Carlos Maria Vignano, former Apostolic Nuncio of the United States, a letter in which he practically made a comparison between good and evil, or God and evil. The Republican Party is the savior of the country, and the Democrat Party is the diabolic. Wow! And we will be experiencing little less than the 10 plagues of the Egypt narrated in the Old Testament of the Catholic Church. That letter was a manifesto, but I did not see the endorsement of the other bishops, or at least a note of endorsement from the Catholic Curia, its administrative body, to Archbishop Carlos Maria Vignano. What strikes us now is that the Catholic movement in support of the Donald Trump comes from the parishioners, from the followers of the Christ, who are in the last step of the pyramid of power of the Catholic Church, which I would say of greater mass of the Catholic population. Those who truly make the church. The rest of the top are administratives. Well, the segment of the population is one who started a campaign to support Donald Trump. In my activity as an investigative journalist, I always discover good things like others. And one sympathetically sees that if a society, in this case the Catholic, is in the lower segment of the administrative organization, is used for a cause. Sometimes you ask yourself in some organization, do the leaders have different agenda than their followers? I could say yes. The issue is that the segment of the church has not only humble people, but if they have highest degree of misinformation. It is also has people with a lot of power, not only financially but also a very high intellectual level, and who to have the information and do not want more than the same in the national political administration, but they want a radical change which allows a new future and a new well-being for the entire community. Based on this, I started the investigation and I wanted to know the reasons for the Union of the Catholics membership, not of the High Command. And that investigation let me look for the agenda that each party, the Republicans and the Democrats, have. Remember, clearly that this is the country, the election was like the pendulum. Now to me, tomorrow for you, passing the control of the country every 4 or every 8 years, party to party. Look at what we found on the agenda that each political party in this country has. Democrats, pro-abortion. Republicans, against abortion. Democrats, socialism. Republicans, capitalism. Democrats, atheism. Republicans, Christianity. Democrats, big government. Republicans, small government. Democrats, same-sex marriage. Republicans, man and woman marriage. Democrats, anti-gun, NRA. Republicans, pro-gun. Democrats, higher taxes. Republicans, lower taxes. Democrats, illegal immigrants. Republicans, legal immigrants. Democrats, anyone can vote. Republicans, voter ID only. Democrats, anti-police, ICE. What is the ICE? It is Immigration Service Agency and Custom Control. Okay. Republicans, pro-police, ICE. Democrats, open borders, whoever can come. Republicans, strong borders. Democrats, Obamacare. Republicans, no Obamacare. When we see this as priority, we see that if the Democrat Party were to win, the United States will become a fully anarchist state. What is the anarchism? I explain in a few words. Anarchism is a political doctrine that seeks the disappearance of the state and its representative body and institution and defend the freedom of the individual above any authority. In popular words, the law of the jungle. Anarchism expanded in the second half of the 19th century, but this is a subject to make a comment in the future. Let's move on. My next question after looking at the agenda are, can the Catholic Church itself ensure the relation as they intend? Of course, you have to see the demographics, means the numbers, and I'm going to show you. Here we are. US is the fourth country with the most Catholics in the world after Brazil, Mexico, and Philippines. Regardless the sex scandals in faithful exercise in this country and unimaginable influence from the decades ago. Wherever in the highest court of law, Congress, or the ballot box, the voice of American Catholic has gained weight that is impossible to ignore and sometimes decisive. The expert says that. This marked a change in the US tradition, where the Catholics used to be far from the center of the power and barely had a president. Just John F. Kennedy from 1961 to 1963 was the only one president Catholic. The 3 points of greater influence of Catholics in the United States are, attention, first, majority in the Supreme Court. Of 9 members, 4 are Catholics. Number 2, a third of the members of the House of Representatives are Catholics, 33%. This according to the Pew Research Center. This is due to the old waves coming from Irish, Italian, Polish immigrants, as well as more recent waves from Latin America. 3, winning vote. Catholics make up a quarter of the US electoral, and this is not a small portion. Again, this is a higher percentage than the Catholic population in the country. The demographics. We have more or less 85 million Catholics in the country, about 15 million evangelicals, with their different denomination, and the central point of they unite is the belief in Jesus Christ as the Son of God and the Savior of the world. How many votes are needed to win the election? 63 million more or less based on the previous election. Above all, the access to electoral quote, 269 plus 1 means 270 of the total 528 electoral votes. On the 85 million Catholics, more or less 64% can vote. This is 54,400,000. If you add the votes from the evangelicals, from the African Americans, and the hard vote that Donald Trump has, the last election Donald Trump reached 62,662,000 popular votes and 306 electoral votes. So more than enough sufficient to win the re-election. But remember, we are 3 months and a half away from the election day. The numbers may change. I only give you the result of my research. We are not promoting to anybody. In a few minutes, I will return with a spiritual analysis in 2 parts about the comment with the theologist Marta Garcia. This was the second opinion with Dr. Manolo. Thank you. Good day. Good luck.